everyone, welcome. And we are going to be talking about our lymphatic system and how important it is, how it works with our body. So this comes off of an article, based on an article by Dr. Jockers of the 10 ways to improve your lymphatic system. If you have any questions, please feel free to give Dr. Udani a quick text. I wanted to welcome Dr. Udani here tonight. She is our naturopathic doctor here at Justine Blainey Wellness Center, and she is such a passionate warrior for our health, amazing listener, and she really is. Has so much level of expertise and a compassionate approach to all that she does. She genuinely believes that everybody has that ability to make those healthy choices for long-lasting changes in our lives. Please help me welcome Dr. Udani.
Thank you so much, Angela. Hello, everybody. Good evening. So we have an amazing, very informative talk coming up. But before that, let's get down to business and let's talk about some of our upcoming webinars. So we're going to have next week one on sinus congestion. Is your nose chronically stuffy or runny? Please tune into this talk. It's going to be really, really informative. There's going to be an advanced nutrition and chronic disease makeover in person at the office. This one does require you to register, so please sign up at the front desk team. There's going to be talk on tennis or golfer's elbow and how we can manage epicondylitis. So that is going to be really, really exciting as well. And Dr. Justine is going to come online to talk about what can we do when you're having a hard day, when you're having a bad day. What are some things that we can do to help manage those days better? And there's going to be talk with Dr. Blake on cataracts and how and why our vision health is so important for our overall health. So these are some great talks that we hope that you're going to tune in. So we're going to jump right ahead to our lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system is one of those systems that we don't really talk a lot about. So you might be wondering, what is this? What does lymphatic even mean? And even though it's kind of a background player, it plays such a huge role in our overall health. And it is really, really, really important for really a lot of the conditions and diseases that we experience, in this present day. So it is it is a separate entity of our circulatory system. So our circulatory system is the blood circulation, right? We have our veins, our arteries, but in between we have these lymphatic vessels, and they can help with transporting lymph fluid that goes all through our body. And this is actually a highway that our immune system uses to track, to find, and to detect if there's any harmful bacteria or harmful pathogens like viruses, parasites, fungi. So it kind of acts like in between these two systems, and it can also kind of flush through our cells to see if there is any toxins, any debris, any inflammatory triggers as well. And the lymphatic system can also transport fat in our body as well, because fat soluble things can also be transported in it. For me, I personally like to call the lymphatic system our highway that carries the toxins out of our body, out of our cells, and it just really is a very important part of our overall health and wellness. So this is, like I said, it carries the toxins, so it kind of does act like a drain, in our home. So but the thing is, it can definitely get congested, and this can lead to a lot of health reactions, including things like sore breasts, fatigue, skin issues, eczema, psoriasis, acne, cold hands and feet, bloating, headaches, rigid body, and weakened immune system can all be part of a weakened and sluggish lymphatic system. And we want to make sure that the lymph nodes are working well, and the vessels are working well, and these drains are working optimally. So this is why we're going to talk about many different ways that we can boost our lymphatic system function. So 10 tips for a healthy lymphatic system. We're going to talk about exercising regularly. What are some of the good exercises we can do to improve and boost the lymphatic flow? using stress reduction techniques. Sweating daily can be really amazing for boosting the lymphatic system. How to heal it with herbs. Dry brushing is another great way. Eating an anti-inflammatory diet, of course, right, is a cornerstone. Hydrating with mineralized water. I have my water right here with me. Always keep it in eye level so that way you know you're drinking. And it's a reminder for you to keep drinking water. Dressing accordingly can be an interesting and very important way to boost your lymphatic flow. Getting a massage is another great way, and of course, regular chiropractic care can all help with improving the health of your lymphatic system. So let's jump into number 1, regular exercise. Getting your body moving is one of the easiest, most effective ways to boost your lymphatic system because the lymph vessels need a little bit of a push to keep moving. It doesn't really have a pump that pumps it throughout the body. Like, for example, our heart pumps, heart is the pump for our circulation, right? Our blood flows because the heart is pumping. But for the lymphatic system, we don't really have a pump like that. So we do need activity. We need our muscles to work to pump it, to keep it working. So this could be things like you're lifting weights at the gym, dancing around the home with your kids, going for a walk, going for a little jog with your dog. Anything like this will help your lymphatic system function better. And this increases, of course, the oxygen levels in your body as well. So that improves your immune function. Our white blood cells, our immune system need oxygen. Very, very important for it to do its job right. So this can even help with prevention of chronic things, and even things like cancer can be can be prevented when we have a healthy, functional lymphatic system. So exercise, so one of the best and easiest ways, this is actually a very, very, very effective way to do is doing a rebound exercise. So things like when you're jumping on a trampoline or when you're skipping rope. This is very good because we're using the force of gravity to help push the lymph down and up. So like I mentioned, the lymphatic system doesn't really have a pump to keep it going. So we need to do exercise and things like this, where we're doing skipping rope or using a trampoline. It's a very, very, very easy and safe way to detox your lymphatic drainage points. And using number 2 is stress reduction techniques. Because, when we're stressed, our body is not in the rest and digest phase. Our body is in the fight or flight stage. So when we're in a fight or flight stage, our body's not really thinking about detox. It's not really thinking about proper digestion. It's not thinking about how are we going to remove the toxins. It's thinking about ways to survive. And so that's why when we get to that extreme burnout, stressful stage, the body doesn't really have a lot of the capabilities to focus on these other things. So this is why when we reduce the stress, it gives your body a chance to actually look at other things. So think about this like, analogy would be you're doing multiple things in the day, right? So you're going to focus on, when you're stressed, you're focusing on like so many different things. But when you're calm, you actually have a chance to look at things that you might have, forgotten to do a long while ago. So just like that, our body needs some stress reduction techniques to help with focusing itself on these other things like improving a lymphatic flow. So one of the best ways we can do is we can incorporate some relaxing exercises that also help with reducing stress. So things like yoga, things like deep breathing exercises and stretching. Good posture is another big thing with reducing stress because it improves with your breathing, but it can also help with lymphatic flow as well. And it can reduce congestion that your lymphatic system can experience. So how is the lymphatic system cleaned? So this one of the biggest drainage points of the lymphatic system is right in your shoulder, right in your clavicle, your collarbone area. Okay, so there's two major ducts where the lymph drains, that comes from your arms all the way from your head, and it just drains into here, and it can go down your rib cage and come up again. And when it drains here, actually it connects to your heart and kind of circulates with the blood and then gets separated again. So because of this is why, doing a good stretch first thing in the morning can really open up your chest cavity, your rib cage, activate the lymph nodes, activate the channels to keep the flow going. So like I mentioned with the stress reduction techniques, when you do a deep breath, when you do yoga, any kind of stretching, just really, really helps boost this transport of the lymph nodes and lymph fluid, and keep these channels open and less congested. And you might notice that this is very common. Like when you're working, when you're stressed, we tend to hunch down. Even myself, I notice it that when I am stressed, I tend to be hunched down sometimes. My shoulders are curved inwards. So I have to make a point to roll the shoulders back, take deep breaths, and improve your posture. And those deep breaths, we're talking about belly breaths, okay? Not the ones from the chest. We want the ones that come from deep, deep belly breaths. These help pump the lymphatic channels to help reduce any kind of blockages and help with drainage too. So this is number 3, making sure you sweat at least a little bit every day. One of my best, this is actually something I tell all my patients, if they can do it, please do it, to go to an infrared sauna, or if that's not possible, have a very, 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 very hot shower that can help with improving your lymphatic flow as well, or doing exercises that make you sweat, because sweating is an amazing way that your body helps with circulation, with lymphatic flow, boosts your channels, improves your skin, improves your oxygenation capabilities. And it is very, very important when we are looking at helping with improving the drainage of our lymph nodes and the lymphatic system. All you need to do is really just 10 to 20 minutes. It could be maybe 30 minutes, but you want to have a nice sweat going on. It needs to feel like you're sweating. And of course, make sure that you are please drinking enough water with electrolytes to support this detox process as well. Let's go into tip number 4 is you can also, there are certain herbs that can help increase your lymphatic flow. And this is another herb that is used in Ayurvedic medicine for reducing the toxic load carried by the body. And it can help with it can help with your liver and help with purifying the blood. So what that means is kind of clearing out any kind of excess lymphatic, any toxins in the blood. And so there is teas that you can drink, including this herb mangista. There is even things like just regular green tea or just water can be very, very, very helpful with boosting your lymphatic system. So this is another amazing tea that you can incorporate into your day-to-day activities. Teas are generally tend to be very healthy, tend to be very safe to take. Of course, if you have any contraindications, so things like you're taking multiple medications, or you are worried if this is like, if you should incorporate things like this into your diet, of course I'm here to answer questions. We can even set up a meet and greet to talk about how we can incorporate these healthy habits into your lifestyle safely. But tea, for example, the Essiac tea is another great way to boost your lymphatic system and to help with any drainages that need to be happening. Milk thistle is another great herb. It's very, very good for your liver, very protective for the liver, and it can help with just purifying and clearing out and supporting the detox process. There's a lot of antioxidants in milk thistle that can stimulate it can fight inflammation, but also stimulate the immune system as well. Now, of course, there's with herbs, we want to look at any kind of, to make sure that when we take something that supports the liver, we want to make sure that we do it in a safe way. So this is why I always recommend to speak to your healthcare provider, speak to your naturopath to make sure this is something that you can take safely. Castor oil packs. So castor oil is one of my favorite oils that you can use for so many different things. It has such amazing benefits for moving things. So castor oil is a very moving oil. That's what I call it. You can put it on, if you have period pains, you can do a castor oil pack on your stomach. That can really help with period pains. You can do it if you have any swellings that you need help with. You can just do a castor oil pack there. Please do not ingest castor oil. Castor oil is only for topical use. If you ingest it, you might get a lot of stomach upsets and diarrhea, and that's just not ideal. Castor oil is just great for topical use, but it is a very, very effective mover of lymphatic fluid. Essential oils is another great way to stimulate the lymphatic system. So I'm sure, essential oils are very strong, right? They have a very strong scent. And even things like, let's say, eucalyptus oil or lavender oil or peppermint oil, these can, trigger your sensory system to help with your lymphatic fluid. So you can do things like you can diffuse with essential oils. Basically, you don't need too much, just 3 to 4 drops in a half a cup of water, and you can put it in a diffuser, and that will help with even improving your breathing and improving your opening up your chest, opening up your lung capacity, which is, like I said, it was really important with jump starting the lymphatic flow. You can inhale it directly. You can dab a little bit just below your nose or rub a little bit on your chest. Please be mindful. You might want to use a diluting oil when you're using it on the skin, because some essential oils can cause rashes and can be a little bit sensitive. So just to be on the safe side, you want to use something like a carrier oil, like coconut oil, almond oil, olive oil, when you're using lymphatic essential oils. Ingesting, once again, like I said, please be careful because it can cause some stomach upsets. In my opinion, I say to diffuse it or inhale it. Topically apply if you have a carrier oil with you, but there's some really fantastic ways that you can use essential oils to boost your lymphatic system. Dry brushing is another great way, and it's actually very common to do dry brushing too. So all you really need is a handheld brush or a comb or a dry brush that you use, and the key is to movements must be upwards. So if you're starting from your legs, you want to move it up in a circular motion when you're doing the brushing all the way to your knee, and then because there's lymph nodes. So lymph nodes are, think of like these little nodes that the lymphatic fluid passes through, and in these nodes are the immune cells that kind of monitor to watch out for any harmful bacteria and toxins and things like that. So these little nodes are everywhere in the body, and so that's why we want to boost the lymphatic flow and help them go through these nodes. So that way, if there's something suspicious, your lymphatic system catches it and your immune system catches it too. So dry brushing is a great way. So you want to move upwards. You want to move it towards your groin area, and then you also move it towards your chest area, because the big lymphatic drainage ducts are right here. There's also a lot in your armpits, a lot on your chest, and by the groin as well, these nodes. So benefits of dry brushing, it really also exfoliates your dead skin cells. It improves circulation. It can unclog pores. So like I said, increasing the circulation. It can also help with cellulite as well, because you're promoting movement of the lymphatic fluid. So when you have too much, when your lymphatic system is too slow and sluggish, you might notice that you have swelling in your legs. So we call this edema. So if you notice that your shoes don't fit well, or your legs feel swollen all the time, that is a sign that you may have a sluggish lymphatic system. So so it's something like this dry brushing where you are moving the fluid up can be very, very helpful. And number 6, of course, is one of our foundations, making sure you eat anti-inflammatory foods that fight the inflammation, foods that help your body overall with functioning optimally, right? So we want to always go for fresh, colorful plate of food. We want to avoid the processed stuff, like not too much white bread, white rice, white flour, processed things like cupcakes, cookies, hamburgers, and even seed oils. We want to go for healthy oils like avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil. We want to have lots of veggies in our diet, lots of spices and herbs, lots of, wild caught fish, grass-fed beef, things that are good for our body. These will fight the inflammation that can cause sluggishness of the lymphatic nodes. Number 7, like I mentioned, making sure you drink water. So you'll be surprised at how much water that you drink or not drink. I've had patients where I ask them, how much water do you usually drink? And, it turns out that not a lot, because we think that we need to get thirsty to drink water, but actually we should be drinking water even when we're not thirsty. And trust me, this is a habit. Once you learn it, it's so easy, and you start to actually miss water. And you can add so many different things to water to make it taste good as well. So you can add lemon, you can add cucumbers, fresh water, like fresh fruit into the water too. And like I said, mine is always keeping it eye level. Whenever I am seeing patients or doing talks like this, I have a glass of water here, so that way I know I'm taking enough water. And the benefits of this is of course, it's going to improve your circulation. It's going to improve your skin. It's going to give you a boost of energy. It's going to actually even relax your muscles. And of course, give you the fluid that your lymphatic system needs to drain and to function, to flush away any kind of toxins that your body might be having. One of the best ways you can start the day is having some lemon water. You just have a slice of lemon in the water. This could be a little bit warm, like body temperature warm. That's easier on the body to digest. And a lot of people think lemon can be acidic, but in the body, it actually is very anti-acidic. It's alkaline. The only where it can be acidic is in the teeth. So if you drink lemon water all the time, you might notice that your teeth enamel in the teeth can wear off. So have it with the straw if you need to. But overall, lemon water can be really, really good for boosting the lymphatic system, helping you stay hydrated. It's a great way to start the day as well. And this is a test for dehydration. So what you can do is you can sip. This is by Dr. John Dillard of Life Spa. And this is a test where you sip warm water every 10 to 15 minutes throughout the day, on top of receiving enough cold water. So at the end of the day, if you crave warm water, your body's thirsty for more water. So this is a test for you to see, okay, how dehydrated am I? I also say if you are living a relatively sedentary life, so you aren't really exercising as much, look at how much you weigh, and it should be half of your body weight in pounds. Convert that into ounces. So that's the amount of water you should be drinking every day. Number 8 is dress according to for the lymphatic system. So your lymphatic system isn't super deep. It's actually that's why there's things like skin brushing, castor oil packs, using essential oils on the skin can actually boost it, because it's very superficial. So it does lie pretty close to the surface. So when you wear restrictive clothes, things like, a bra all the time, even when you're sleeping, or very, very tight clothing, it does affect your lymphatic flow. Now, of course, if you are noticing swelling in your legs and you do compression stockings, that can help with it, right? Because that's kind of keeping the lymphatic flow, instead of going downwards, it's helping it stay up. But let's say if you're wearing undergarments like a wired bra and you're sleeping with it, that can actually be harmful for the proper drainage of the lymph nodes. And there's a lot of lymph nodes in your armpits that do need, that don't really necessarily benefit from restrictive clothing. So my tip there is don't wear any restrictive undergarments, things like tight bras or anything like that when you're sleeping, especially when you're sleeping, because that can affect the way that the lymph nodes are draining. Number 9 is getting a massage. So you might have heard of lymphatic massages. So these are especially targeted for boosting the lymphatic flow. They tend to be a little bit more gentler than like a deep tissue massage. They might also focus on your neck, because there's a lot of lymph nodes by the neck, armpits, the groin area as well, and of course boosting the lymphatic flow from your legs towards these drainage points. And so these can also be coupled with essential oils to help boost it even more. And so this can be very, very, like I mentioned, very, very good for people that experience swelling in the legs. So this is lymphedema. That's the swelling in the legs, because your lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. So it does need, something to push it up. And in people that are very sedentary, or they might have underlying diseases, underlying conditions, the lymphatic system is more sluggish. So they may experience things like excess water weight, excess swelling in the lower legs. So someone doing this manually to you might be very, very beneficial, very therapeutic. Number 10 is regular chiropractic care. So of course, when you have back pain, chronic neck pain, chronic pain, and postural issues, this is going to affect the flow of your lymphatic system. And this can be sometimes very painful. So you might not want to do any of the work, any exercises. You might not feel like being active. So having regular chiropractic care can really help with any of these restrictions. And I know these days we're always in front of a computer and we're always hunched over. That, of course, will affect our spine and the alignment of our spine, and affect the way we are breathing, the way we are, our posture. So we need proper regular chiropractic care to improve our posture, improve our breathing, improve our pain, and really help with our mobility. Because what if we don't have a proper working spine or posture, the lymphatic system will suffer as well. So even things like, you can do yoga, Pilates, inversion tables, and just a regular getting chiropractic care, that's maintenance, can help immensely with boosting your lymphatic system. So the good lymphatic function, reducing the risk of cancer. Yes, this is definitely an factor in preventing the risk of cancer. Of course, our lymphatic system is part of the immune system. So it is something that our immune system uses to monitor and to track any abnormalities, so including cancer cells. So one of the ways that the cancer can spread into other parts of the body is that it can travel through the lymph nodes, through the lymphatic system. And, this is why having a proper functioning lymphatic system where we have, every day there's not a lot of congestion and there's not a lot of swelling in the lymph nodes is very important, because these can also be warning signs of something more dangerous happening. So this is where blood work, imaging needs to be done, and can also be ordered, especially blood work actually can be ordered by a naturopathic doctor, but you can definitely go to a family doctor if you are concerned, especially if you have swelling that doesn't seem to be going down, especially in your armpits or in your groin area, or even in your neck. And please get that checked. Please get the imaging that needs to be done, because this can actually be a warning sign of something more sinister, more serious. And that's why, having proper functioning lymphatic system in the beginning stages in prevention can be really good, because when we don't have as much congestion, we have a higher chance that our immune system can catch these things early on and can deal with it before things get more serious. Now, I do want to make a comment here. If you are a cancer patient, or if you are if you have been given a diagnosis of such things, boosting your lymphatic system might not necessarily be the best thing to do at this moment, because you also don't necessarily want to be spreading any kind of cancer cells or tumor cells throughout the body. So this is where it would definitely need individual case-by-case decisions needs to be done, because we also don't want to unintentionally harm the healing process as well. But overall, when we have a proper functioning lymphatic system, it does help remove toxic waste, and it does help reduce the stress in the body and improve circulation, oxygenation, and helps our immune system kind of keep an eye on, keep tabs on what's really going on in the body. So our lymphatic system, like I mentioned, is a really important system for maintenance of our body, of our health, and a proper functioning lymphatic system where it's working well. There's no congestion. It's a great tool that our immune system uses, and it's also just more than that. Actually, it just is a very powerful system that helps with detoxing the body as well. So hopefully those were great tips that you can adapt into your day-to-day habits. We have some amazing upcoming webinars on sinus congestion. If your nose is congested, what are some things we can do? Of course, we're going to be we're doing a talk on we're doing a makeover actually in person, advanced nutrition and chronic disease. There's going to be a talk on tennis or golfer's elbow and how some ways we can help with that. And of course, some motivational things that Dr. Justine is going to talk about when you're having a bad day. And Dr. Blake is going to be here to talk about how we can improve and talk more about cataracts and our vision health as well. So hopefully you learned a lot from this webinar. It's a very integrative. There's so many things we can do to boost our lymphatic system, and we'd love for you to connect with us. Please give us your feedback, and if you have any ideas for future talks, we're all ears. We'd love to help and give this back to you, back to the community.
Thank you, Dr. Udani, for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everybody.